Gutom 2027 ay isang programa ng ating gobyerno na napakaganda. Ito ay naglalayong mabigyan ng mga food stamp ang mga may hirap na ating mga kababayan. Ito ay naglalayong mabigyan ang mga taong nagugutom na walang makain sa araw-araw na may less than 8,000 pesos kita sa isang buwan. Kaya ito ay magandang programa ng ating gobyerno. Pakinggan po natin ang ating sekretary ng DSWD.
May bagong programa ang Department of Social Welfare and Development kasunod ng pagkakalagda ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sa Executive Order Number 27 o ang reorganization sa Interagency Task Force on Zero Hunger. The program aims to alleviate hunger and poverty for families belonging to the lowest income bracket. And to give us more details on the food stamp program, we have DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian. Good morning, Secretary Gatchalian.
Good morning. Maraming salamat. And before I go into the details of the program, I'd like to put it in context in relation to the new executive order on hunger. Let me just read a prepared statement by the department. Magandang umaga. With the restructuring of the Interagency Task Force on Zero Hunger, we are assured of a stronger and more efficient system and mechanism to mitigate hunger and poverty in the country. This is also part of our commitment to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and attaining the ambition natin 2040. In line with this development, I am proud to present to you the Department of Social Welfare and Development's new program that will provide food augmentation to food poor families, also known as Walang Gutom 2027, the food stamp program. The program is anchored with the Philippine Development Agenda 2023 to 20 transfers that will be loaded with food credits amounting to 3,000 pesos to purchase a select list of food commodities from DSWD accredited local retailers. The Walang Gutom 2027 intends to target the bottom 1 million households from Listahanan 3 who belong to the food poor criteria as defined by the Philippine Statistics Authority. We believe that this program will properly address the gaps and assist its beneficiaries in attaining the recommended food and energy consumption needed for each member to perform their daily tasks and routines that has direct and indirect contribution to human capitalization and a direct positive impact towards nation building. In other words, by meeting the daily food requirements of its target beneficiaries, the said program will sufficiently mitigate hunger due to extreme poverty. Lastly, the DSWD hopes that through Walang Gutom 2027, the country will be able to combat hunger and achieve food security towards the realization of a zero hunger Philippines. Maraming salamat.
Okay. Open for questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're open for questions. Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7.
Sec, is this conditional?
Yes. Ivan, when I joined the DSWD, we said that we want to recalibrate every single thing that we do there to turn it developmental. To make it developmental, 4 things has to happen. 1, it should be targeted. It's not a shotgun that everybody, even yung hindi nangangailangan, makakatanggap. We target those that need it the most. 2, it should be conditional. 3, it should be measurable. And 4, there should be clear exit mechanisms so that it doesn't turn into one program on top of another program. In the case of the food stamps, ang plano natin dyan, like I said, it's targeted because we've already identified the 1 million food poor families. These are families that do not make beyond 8,000 pesos according to the PSA. 8,000 pesos monthly. So that's the target side of it. It's conditional. Similar to other food stamp programs, there will be a work component to it. Ang argumento kasi ngayon, di ba, pag gutom ang isang individual, hindi siya makaparticipate, hindi siya makatrabaho. Kulang yung caloric intake. So kung hindi siya makapagtrabaho, hindi siya produktibong mamamayan ng ating bansa. So ang gagawin natin dito, we will supplement the family's intake so that they mawala yung feeling of hunger. Thereby, makahanap siya ng trabaho and thereby they become part of the workforce of the country. Ang condition nga doon is, when you're signed up, you have to go to your nearest public employment office, get a certification that you are now being counted as part of the workforce. No matter what job it is. Alam naman natin, iba-ibang skill sets, iba-ibang angkop na trabaho. Pero ang importante, nagtatrabaho ka na.
Okay. Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Sec, paano yung funding nito? Saan siya manggagaling? Because yesterday, the President said that the food stamp program is just still on the pipeline
Yep.
in partnership with the ADB.
Tama yun. It's a very good question. Let me just step one step backwards. Saan nanggaling to? Remember, the President's dream during the campaign was to end hunger. Ang pangarap niya, walang Pilipinong pamilya dapat natutulog ng gutom. That's why we made this bold statement, Walang Gutom 2027. We want it to be the President's legacy that right before he steps out of office, wala nang Pilipinong gutom. As he evolves the economy into higher yielding jobs, we have to make sure that we're making the right human capital investment so that they can partake of those jobs that's being generated. Kasi di ba, we don't want it to be a scenario wherein the President's evolving the economy, evolving the types of jobs that's being generated, pero 1 million Filipino families cannot partake of that fruit of that economic change. We want it to be inclusive. So, tama ka, it's still in the design stage because what's happening right now is we are working with the World Food Program, who has vast technical expertise when it comes to running food stamp programs worldwide. And then the ADB was kind enough to provide close to $3 million for the 6 months pilot that will run in the middle part of this year towards the latter part of this year. So this year, we're in the design and piloting stage. What does that mean? In every big, large-scale program, you don't want to launch it without studying it and going through the details. So they've identified 5 pilot sites coming from different geopolitical characteristics. Meron tayong in the Barm area, what used to be a former conflict area. 2, geographically isolated regions or provinces. 3, in urban poor settings. 4 and 4 will be calamity-driven, stricken areas. And the 5th will be rural poor. So we have to make sure that yung konteksto ng programa will be designed na naaangkop sa bawat lugar. Kasi what might work for one may not work for the other, but the general framework should be the same. Access to food, nutritious, delicious, and affordable food for every single Filipino family. So the remainder part of the 6 months, fully funded by grants from the ADB. That's why the President opened it yesterday in ADB, and we are thankful. The DSWD is very thankful to the technical support and grant support that the ADB has extended to us.